would be worth. Mr. Knuckles was a wonderful soul that came to me when I needed a wonderful pet soul in my life. And we had other rescue cats that we were taking care of too, and he would mother them and teach them how to hunt, and he just had so much personality. He would jump. He could jump really, really high. So we'd go in our front yard, and all the neighbors would come around, and they'd be like, "Hey, Mr. Knuckles." But when he passed, it was very sad. I was out of town at the time, and he was just a therapy cat. I wanted to honor him with a series of stories, and at the same time wanted to do an illuminated alphabet. So during COVID, that was my COVID project, was to go through the alphabet with stories of all of his babies that he raised. And I had one person pick up the book one time, and they said, they're all eating and sleeping. I'm like, yeah, they're cats, man. That's what they do.
Cats do.
But yeah, so he does have a backstory, but he was born on Finley Street, and his mom, Floofy Boots, raised him really well. Floofy Boots had some troubles raising all of the kittens of the litter, so she had to go to New Orleans and do some pickup work. And Knuckles came of age, and he was able to work, so he was like, I'm going to help Mom out. So he danced really well. So he started dancing gigs on the Chitlin circuit. Gave Floofy Boots a little bit of a break because the dad, Dwayne, Five Stick Dwayne, he was a drummer, and he loved seafood. So Dwayne left Floofy Boots and to go on cruise ship gig tours. And that's how Floofy Boots ended up kind of having to struggle with the family. But Knuckles comes in and starts dancing the Chitlin circuit, and that's why he's got his vaudevillian thing going on with his top hat and his butterfly friends and dragonfly friends and so forth.
Was this the first book that you've put together, or was there projects before that?
I'm a paper engineer. I took a class at John C. Campbell in North Georgia and fell in love with paper engineering and developed a story called The Night Before the Boucherie, which is a Louisiana festival. It takes place in the fall, and it's a whole family event. So I did a pop-up series. It's about the family and what they do.
Yeah.
And that was really the first type of story that I came up with. I've always messed around with including words in my visual art, but I'm not a writer. But we have to use words to communicate mostly, so, what are we going to do?
So tell me about the mechanical greeting cards.
Oh yeah, these are fun. So when I was growing up, and you're probably of that age too, we had a lot of kits.
Yeah.
And like
a lot of color forms.
Yeah. And like Merlin and Simon were the first versions of electronic games, handheld games.
Yeah.
I didn't have Nintendo. I mean, Pong. I'm of the Pong generation, right? That was the extent. So we still had a lot of paper things, and I'm trying to get back to that and make a movement of slow art where we're using more paper and scissors and pencil and fewer things that require electronics for creativity. So these little kits, mechanical cards, are part of that, and Rob has them at the neighborhood books pop-up markets where you get all the pieces parts, but you color them in and you get instructions of how to put them together. Yeah, these are a throwback to like the highlights magazines when you get them as a kids at the dentist office, and they were so wonderful to me. I mean, I played with them when I was in my 20s. It was a instrumental part of my artwork.
Yeah. Tell me about your experience being an artist in Athens.
Oh God, this is like, I feel like so many people don't realize how wonderful the arts community is in Athens. It's warm, it's friendly, it's accessible. Each other are accessible. We want to see each other do well with our individual ideas. It's different than Atlanta, where things are tuned up higher a little bit. I mean, that's I don't know the word for it.
Still got enough small town energy to not be too loud or overwhelming.
Yeah.
But still big enough to provide opportunity.
Exactly. There's so much room for growth, and you have new emerging artists from the Lamar Dodd School and the music college, and now there's music business courses that are happening, which is really exciting. Hopefully that'll translate into art business, studio artist business courses. It's wonderful and always something weird and great going on.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite Athens artists, be they visual, musical, theatrical?
Wow. Stan Mullins, in the day, was one of the first artists that was an inspiration, because he was doing big things. He was working on the Rwanda project at that time, and the human rights situation in Rwanda, and that has always left an impression on me. Yeah. So we stopped to get gas at a gas station, and I go inside for my mandatory Diet Coke, and I look outside, and right next to the car where I'm getting gas is like this pickup truck full of junk. And there's a bear. There's a taxidermed bear on the back of this truck. And she's just gorgeous. I've got a picture of her like in the truck where she's sticking her head out and her mouth is open, right? And this bear and I just look into each other's eyes and we connect soulfully. And I see the owner of the truck. He steps around from the car. And dude's like all in black, silver chains, but they work for him, skinny as a rail. And I thought to myself, I bet that guy would sell me that bear. So I come out and he's still standing there. I was like, I like your bear. He's like, yeah, she's a good bear. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be fun. I said, would you sell that bear? He said, well, I don't know, maybe. I'm like, okay, he's gonna sell the bear. It's just, can I afford the bear? I said, well, how much? $200. I said, well, how about $60? He's like, okay. Well, like, right on. I gave him the cash, and he gave me the bear, who was on a trolley, by the way. I could roll her around the parking lot. And I said, well, you should name the bear, because I have plans for this bear. This bear is going to live and have a personality in my art world. He said, well, my name's Cowboy. I was like, well, we got to call her Cowgirl. So for years I've been doing ribbon flowers, Victorian ribbon flowers. Well, her pelt was all torn up and everything and just coming off the taxidermed form. So I was like, well, I'm going to put flowers all over this bear. So she has become Cowgirl, the flower bear. We gave her a new trolley to sit on, and she's done a few events in Athens. She was in the Green Acres 4th of July parade during COVID, giving out honey, little jars of honey to everybody, and dancing with people. She likes to dance. And she's done some mental health PSAs for Mental Health Month that you can find through Joker TV streams.